after the year 2026, you're going to start seeing the nonsense. Broads are not going to be able to take that L. It's going to be false allegation galore. Mark my words, post 2026 World Cup, because it's taking place in the United States in the 2026. It's gonna be false allegations galore from women, especially once they start hitting that age, that 28, 29, 30. It's gonna be a lot of dudes talking about, yeah, the girl that I'm getting engaged to, yeah, this happened to her when she was in college, and it's coming, man. Anyways, we got this girl here. She's gonna talk about how she thinks she's going to establish what SA is in her mind. And y'all know what I mean when I say SA. Especially when it comes to, college and, men and women, interacting in college. So take a listen to her in her what she thinks is SA. But let's take a listen.
Have you ever heard a man talk about a hookup, but it actually just sounds like assault? I don't know whether they have some sort of disconnect, like cognitive dissonance of thinking they're a good person, so they can't possibly assault somebody, but they will sometimes tell you in detail about their hookup that actually was not consensual. I was in college and there was a group of guys behind me, and this guy was talking about his hookup that had happened the night before. And he's like, yeah, man, like she initially didn't want to hook up and she said she didn't want to and like whatever, but I won her over, and by the end of the night, like we had hooked up and it was great and she had a good time. She didn't want to, and then she did because you kept asking her. That's not fucking consensual. That is coercion. What is wrong with you? Have you ever heard a man talk?
Guys, we're screwed. We're screwed because too many men have been scared to be like, bitch, shut up. What the fuck is he talking about? First of all, because I saw the comment. I remember I saw a comment which I liked. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it, but there was a comment that explained it perfectly. There was a comment that explained it, perfectly in terms of when it comes to, consent and, enthusiastic consent and all this. And this is why I always say this. This is why they're so afraid of MGTOW. This is why they're so, in my opinion, that's one of the main reasons why they're so afraid of MGTOW, or they're like scared, or they go out their way to be like, if you got men like just actively just, okay, let me just ignore these hoes. I'm not going to even interact with them. It's almost like they get worried, because really, if you have a guy that's actively avoiding women, monk mode, there's really nothing you can pin on him. What can you do to that guy? Can't put no false allegation on him, because you're just going to look stupid. You can't get his attention. You can't get his money if things don't work out. You can't use the guy. This is really why they be at MGTOW like, God damn it. This is why they're really afraid of MGTOW. I'll say one of the main reasons why they're afraid of MGTOW, or any men that are just deciding to just go like monk mode, because this is dangerous. This level of thinking is dangerous. And that's why I keep telling you, when they talk about quote unquote, SA culture and grape culture, that's a myth. That's not in America, especially not in American colleges. There's no grape culture going on in American colleges. That is a bunch of baloney. And anybody that's been to college, they know exactly what I'm talking about. That is a bunch of baloney. And even and let's take it like this. And I always make this point. I make this point here. I always make this point, and I think it's just undefeated. Say if what you say is true, if there's grape culture in college, okay, we'll take your word for it. There's grape culture in college. Just going by what you say. Who are the people that are usually getting accused of grape? The athletes, the frat boys, and the so-called friends, right? The men that they thought were their friends. Now, in this space, we tell you that men and women can't be friends, so that's already strike one on you. Number two, I never even made that point before, but number two, who are the people that the woman on college, who do they try to lead? Who do they try to hook up with? Who are the dudes that they try to actively be around? Who are the dudes that they actively try to party with? The frat boys and the athletes and whoever's the popular person, whoever's the most popular person on campus. That's who they try to be with. But those are the people that end up with the most accusations. Now, if I was afraid of lions, but I kept going to the zoo and I wanted, like, no, how about this here? If I was afraid of lions, why would I actively go in the middle of the night to a safari in Africa with no supervision and just be out there dancing in the wildlife? I'm talking about I don't live there. I'm talking about like I'm visiting. I'm constantly visiting the wildlife with no safety, no guns, no protection, no knives, no nothing. Just out there, just gallivant. This is what these hoes do when they be in college, and they talk about we got a grape culture. Are you kidding me? No. And that's just me if I'm taking their word for it. So I'll be like, so why are you hanging out with these people? Because I never hear them talking about, oh, I got this and I was at a chess club meeting, and I never hear it when there's a chess club meeting, a robotics meeting, or a economics forum. I never hear these stories during these. If rarely, I rarely hear those stories from things like that. Anything productive going on. It's always at these parties where alcohol is involved. And mind you, they showed the statistics on this. 90% of time, they said 90% of time when a SA is involved or a SA allegation, or just a SA situation is involved, alcohol is involved 90% of the time. 90% of the time. So it's basically the alcohol is there all the time, but that's what they want to do when they go to college. They want to get wasted. Especially white girls. White girls are the queens of this. Get wasted, do whatever the hell they want to do, then wake up and act like they didn't know what went over them and start playing victim afterwards. They're the queens of that. But anyways, let's analyze what she is saying one more time.
Talk about a hookup, but it actually just sounds like assault. I don't know whether they have some sort of disconnect, like cognitive dissonance of thinking they're a good person, so they can't possibly assault somebody, but they will sometimes tell you in detail about their hookup that actually was not consensual. I was in college and
so she's just assuming, she's just saying it's non-consensual in her mind. But what if to the girl it was consensual? She's just labeling it non-consensual. they're just trying to convince the girls, no, that was non-consensual. That was not. What's going on here? But really, in my opinion, I think it's a deeper evil that's going on. It's a deeper evil what's going on, because what's happening, they're establishing that groundwork of where women can just whore around, right? But still establish that out for them when things don't work out for them. If they can't do abortion, if they can't do all this other stuff, and they want that out. To be they need that victim play. They always need their victim trap card in case of emergency. They always need that victim trap card, and now that's what they're really trying to establish, that groundwork of victim trap card. This is why they keep trying to always constantly changing the definition of consent and enthusiastic consent and non-enthusiastic. They're trying to establish that groundwork, so in the future, once that future comes and they need money, they need to start suing people, they're going to have that in their back pocket. That's why they're even trying to put that in the laws. That's why even like in places like New York, they have it where if you lie about the occupation you have, if you lie about the occupation you have, like say if you say you were a doctor, but so you were able to sleep with a woman because you said you were a doctor, but then she finds out you work at McDonald's, you can be sued for SA. You can, not sue. Sorry, you can be put to jail for SA. Or sued. Either way, they want to establish that groundwork of that victim trap card if things don't work out. It's a really deeper evil that's people don't even understand. That's why I'm telling you, once it hits the late 2020s and especially 2030 on, you're gonna see a barrage of false allegations. You're gonna see a lot of dudes talking about. You're gonna hear every other dude talk about, oh yeah, my wife, this happened to her in college. I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. It's crazy.
There was a group of guys behind me, and this guy was talking about his hookup that had happened the night before. And he's like, yeah, man, like she initially didn't want to hook up and she said she didn't want to and like whatever, but I won her over. And by the end of the night, like we had hooked up and it was great and she had a good time. She didn't want to, and then she did because you kept asking her. That's not fucking consensual. That is coercion. What is?
So she's just assuming that it's coercion. Who's to say that she found out that he played for the football team and all of a sudden she changed her mind? I done seen that happen a lot of times. Like, not even when it comes to just sex, just in life. Girl be talking to you like you ain't nothing, or the people around you talking to you like you ain't nothing, and then they find out you friends with like the captain of the football team or something, or you helping the captain of whatever, or the you see the top dude, they see you shaking hands, having a full convo with him. Oh, I've never even seen him talk to nobody. Who are you? Do you know how many times that? Never mind. Anyways, so who's to say that she ain't changed her mind? Which happens all the time, but she's just gonna label that as SA. She's just gonna label it as coercion. This is evil. This is very evil what she's doing. I'll even, because people don't understand how evil this is. This is evil, and I'm calling it out. And you conservatives out there, you know, maybe you need to start focusing on things like this, because you don't even understand the ramifications of this, and you wondering why are dudes not asking girls out? Bruh, you need to start seeing stuff like this and calling this out and making sure this is, because these are their daughters doing this stuff. Because especially white women, are spoiled rotten in America. Spoiled. These are the most privileged beings ever. And these are the people that have the time to come up with nonsense like this. All these extreme liberal women that you see that you having problems with, I will say 6 out of 10 times, or I'll be conservative, 4 out of 10 times, they came from a really conservative family, and they just let her just do whatever they. You need to start calling this stuff out, because these are the people that end up affecting policies, and then they just basically mess up that discourse between men and women, and then you're just wondering why. Oh my God, why are dudes just avoiding? Why do you think? Because there's a lot of women that think like her, and that are influencing the younger minds and pushing this nonsense. Like, it still boggles my mind where you'll see the average conservative, they'll be shocked, where they're just so shocked the youth are acting a certain way, but they don't even understand. Like, they get shocked that damn near all the professors are left leaning, and I'm like, you guys are not paying attention. But anyways, let's keep this playing.
What's wrong with you? Yep.
But yeah, that's it. But let's look at some of these comments. Because you're gonna see that the comments really should be worrying. It really should be worrying, because even as a man, you're not even allowed to say, what are you talking about here? Because even as a man, if you say, I don't even get what you're saying, they're gonna say, watch out for that guy. So right here, you have a woman, she goes, I don't understand wanting it to the point where you're okay if the other person doesn't. So right there, she's trying to establish the groundwork. So right here, you have a young woman. She goes, the boys in these comments need to realize there's different levels of gravity to SA. Being guilt tripped, annoyed, or talk into consenting can be complex, and it's not a violent assault, a violent A, while someone says no. However, hearing from a very young age so many times from my female peers about how they just didn't want the whining, the bad conscience, or even the bad mood after saying no, so they just got it over with, made me think, and it should make everyone think. Not to mention those who consent out of fear. Why would you even want to sleep with someone that needs convincing? We're saying there shouldn't be a gray area unless you're 100% sure your partner is enthusiastically consenting. You should not engage. It's about listening, blah, 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 blah. Gray area, blah, 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 blah. Oh man, here we go. But let's look at this last sentence that she says. She says, but too many of you guys remember gray areas you or your peers have experienced yourself probably, and instead of reflecting, you get defensive because secretly you must have known that the consent wasn't entirely given. Here we go. Now, this is going to be the same woman, because even on my channel, I say, when we say the women should be chasing the men, the women say, oh, what are you trying to say? We should be chasing the men. Yes, this is what you're saying. This is exactly what you're saying in this comment, that the woman should be chasing the man. Thank you for making my point. Because I even say the men should not be chasing the women, but unfortunately that's going to leave out a lot of men. And this is why you'll even hear a lot of women, why are men not chasing the women no more? We're not trying to deal with this nonsense where when you're using consent and playing with this consent like it's Madden sliders, where you're losing. Then, all right, let me put the Madden sliders right here to put it to my advantage. Okay, I'm winning. Let me move up the Madden sliders back to its normal spot. This is how women play with consent. Now, we're not trying to deal with that. So this is what I say. I'd be like, look, in this day and age, you need to have the women chasing you. Don't pursue the women. Have the women chase you. Mess with the women that like you. And women will be mad at dudes for saying that. Or they'll be mad at MGTOW men for saying, let me just step out of the dating market. So what is it that you want? This is why I'm getting defensive, because we will say women should be chasing men. And what do you think you're the prize? Well, if the man is chasing the woman, where does he win in your scenario? Where does he win? Where does he win? Because we didn't remember, I even played a video. Remember when you saw these pickup artists? I played a video of the pickup artist. He approaches a group of women, right? They say no. He moves on. He doesn't push. Like, it wasn't like typical pickup artist stuff where he was trying to overcome objections and all that nonsense. He shot his shot. They said no. He moved on, found a different cohort of women. They gave him his number. The other girl that rejected him sees him trying to shoot a shot at another woman, and she tries to disrupt his nonsense. These are people that you like. I'm talking about. You guys really need to watch out, dog. Because I be seeing some of these pages on Twitter, and I'm like, you guys are focused on the wrong things. You need to be focused on women like this. Like, women like this are dangerous, man. Women like this are dangerous. The way that you can just change the definition of consent and all this, not like whenever it benefits or doesn't benefit you, this is dangerous, man. This is really dangerous. So right here, because even if you just disagree with what she said, you're gonna see somebody like her said, there's so many grapists in the comments section. Just because you disagree with her. Just because you disagree with her. So you have a guy right here says this. So saying yes is also saying no. Got it. So exactly. So like now, if a woman is saying yes to you, it still means no, but no means yes. What? Oh man. But then we will say, but like it'll be dudes in this, we'll say you should only be going, the women should be chasing you. That's we will say this, and they will say we're arrogant and why do you think we're not the prize? But then you will say stuff like this. You're making it where men cannot win when interacting with you. This is why MGTOW really, or just men going their own way, or men just walking away from the dating scene, especially in America, is the only logical conclusion. Really, it's the safest conclusion. People are just like shocked at like, man, 45% of Gen Z men have never asked a girl out. Why would they? Why? Why? And like I said, because they're gonna shame you for just disagreeing with her. Trust me, that's what they do. You'll be like, I don't know. That's all you'll say. You'll just be like, no. What does that make you? You did that to a woman before? No, I just what you're saying doesn't logically. That's all you have to say, but they will still call you a grape apologist. So man, women like this are dangerous. Like women like this need to be put like on a list of like danger, do not approach. Like danger, do not approach. There needs to like she needs to be like listed where you just like do not approach this woman. Like for real, or if or whoever her friends are, you taking a risk if you're trying to get with them.